Hey, welcome guys back to the channel. Mary here, ready for Bakemonogatari episode 2. So, thank you guys for all the comments on the first episode. Gave me a lot of tips and support as well. So, to just address some of the things that were mentioned here, at least in regards to the, the tips and whatnot. So, a lot of you told me not to skip the opening and ending, but as far as I know, it's still not entirely clear. Like, I don't think every single episode is going to have a different opening and ending. So I feel like, I mean, I'm not going to skip it, right? But I don't feel like I'm going to put it in within the actual reaction itself. Because even if there are just some various small changes to, if it's the same song, let's say, if it's the same song and there's just some things that's changed on the screen or whatnot, I probably have to go back myself and watch that again as well, as I usually do with these episodes. So it's not going to have that much of a purpose of putting it into the reaction itself. I will, however, be watching it if it changes to a new song. So just want to clarify on that part. Some of you mentioned that the subs I'm using could be a little bit better. I'm actually using the A&E subs, which, according to Reddit at least, it's one of the highest rated subs for Bakemonogatari. But thanks to Alexander, who pointed out that there's actually another modified version of A&E subs as well, and so that's what I'm changing to for this version. I believe they translate the catchphrases of the characters a little bit differently. Right, and so beyond those kinds of meta discussions, going back to the episode itself, I had some predictions as to how the upcoming series is going to go. That was just literally the first episode. Don't know anything about it. So yeah, let's just jump into the episode and see what is actually going to happen. All right, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Please be quiet while climbing the stairs. Okay. Definitely a lot of fancy. Well, certainly not quite clear what that was supposed to be. Stable. This is... I believe this is the same as last episode, but like I was saying, I will be cutting this out, and we'll be watching it just to make sure. So, I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, so I made sure to watch it again. I don't think it's changed from the first episode. If there was any changes, let me know. Western, blah blah blah, shadow, blah. Okay, that is ridiculous. How can anybody, see anything without actually pausing? Really? That's what poor people do? Well, at least we know she's very comfortable with her nudity. What am I watching right now? And she's in her underwear. What? God. Oh, of course you are. Hookers. Hmm. Oh, really? Huh. So Hanekawa also has some special. Hmm? With her hair, it's gonna take quite a while. Really? I didn't know that. Her mouth, man. Is her personality the reason that that she got this? I don't know how to call it. Curse? Special condition? There we go. The classic angle. Look at the color contrast here. Oh, you did? Oh? Was that supposed to be a clue to his condition there? Nope. This music. Why is it turning into a horror movie? I'm really curious. Hmm. Trying to get her to relax and then actually point out the actual problem. This is the problem? Mm. A, a spiked shoe? Alright. Oh, what was that cut of? Damn, there's real. I. What? Crap. Is this just a metaphor for her problems, or is that an actual god? What? Okay. I was not expecting this supernatural powers to be so prominent. Oh, you can still actually touch it? She needs to solve it herself, right? Say it properly. Say what properly, though? Okay, so it is. My guess was kind of correct. Okay. And so her mom fell deeper and deeper. What in the actual? Oh man. Shigami. Okay. So both her literal and figurative weight was removed. Man, this is even more trippy than Madoka Magic. These cutscenes. You? Really? Mm. Oh, two sisters? Mm. Really? Alright. Still not really sure what I'm watching at this point, but it is intriguing as hell. Alright, I don't think the ending is going to change either, so let me skip this also. Alrighty, so the ending didn't change as far as I could see, and some of you guys did say that the preview is something that I should probably watch as well. It doesn't spoil anything, but it actually expands a little bit on the, I don't know, character relations or trivia or whatnot, so let's continue on with the preview as well. Oh wait, so these... suddenly they're this close? Alright. What? No idea what just happened, but alright. I'll see you guys in a second. Alrighty, so that was episode 2 of Bakemonogatari, and we fixed Sengogahara's problem. Man, her name is hard to pronounce. To be honest, the episode wasn't all that surprising in how it resolved itself, and for the actual problem, I believe I mentioned in the last episode already that I felt that this is probably a case where, Sengogahara probably wished some of her problems away, not be a burden on herself, and that was probably what happened. And it indeed turned out to be as we can see in this episode as well. Though, of course, I had no idea of knowing it actually had something to do with her family, with her mother. I thought it was actually something to do with her friends or other relations. But it was pretty obvious that the weight was being used as a metaphor for something else. Now, what I was actually expecting, though, was for this to, I didn't actually expect her, actual feelings to be removed as well, her actual mental burden to be removed. I thought this was something sort of like, those messed up genie fairy tales with genies in them, where if you wish for one thing, they'll technically grant you the wish, but it's granted in a way that you don't expect, right? So I thought that in this case it would be her, wishing her problems, wishing her burdens away, but with the phrasing and whatnot, and the god decided to play a joke on her and instead remove her actual weight instead. But no, it was actually both, right? Both her mental and her physical burden, if you will. As for the actual, the actual story in regards to this, I mean, I can definitely relate with this. I guess most people could, right? Even though I am fairly, I guess, more stoic in terms of the more sad stuff, I guess you could say. I don't easily get, I don't easily feel empathetic with sad situations and whatnot. I mean, I'm not heartless, right? I also get sad as well. My way of coping with extreme sadness is actually to busy myself with work. It works fairly well, actually. When you're swamped in work, you're just doing everything. You don't have any time to actually, feel emotions, if you will, until maybe when you're lying in bed or when you're taking a shower or something like that. And I mean, of course, you can always make the sort of example of, say, for instance, a bad relationship ended. A relationship ended on very bad terms, and maybe you would be saying, "I wish I had never met you," that kind of thing. Kind of a similar process here, right? But as we can see here, Sengogahara definitely wanted her feelings back, right? That's why she actively seeked out these people and seeked out solutions to her problem. And that's probably also why in the last episode they mentioned that she actually has a kinder heart than initially expected, because she actually wants this back, right? So yeah. Yeah, I don't see if there's any further moralistic meaning or some other deep analogy behind this. I feel like it was fairly straightforward in terms of the actual problem and whatnot. So if there is actually something deeper into this that I didn't read into, do let me know. But as it stands, I feel like it's pretty straightforward. And really, still don't have any idea on how the future series is going to go as well. There's definitely a lot more skin shown than I was expecting, but, somebody already commented on the last episode that, the Monogatari series is basically consisting of dialogue and lots of yummy fan service for our eyes, right? Which, I have to admit, seems to be a pretty good combo, if it doesn't distract from the dialogue. Oh, and speaking of the dialogue, I do wonder if Sengogahara was acting cold because her emotions were inhibited, or, she's just acting at the very end there, and come next episode, she's going to revert to the very foul-mouthed lady that we have seen for this episode, right? Now, she is really, really harsh with her words, let's just say. So that's one thing to look forward to. Another thing is, I do wonder if they're going to eventually revisit her story and maybe find a way to fix her family, because even though she fixed this problem, she still has the actual problem with her family, right? Her family is still torn apart. So perhaps we will be revisiting revisiting that in the future. And what else? We were introduced to Aragi's sisters, right? And assuming, considering that, we need more people, more what should I call it? More scenarios, more events, more stories to go through. Potentially, the next one is going to relate to his sisters. Don't really know, but I would venture a guess and say so. And yeah, and that pretty much covers everything I want to talk about for this episode. The art style definitely got a lot creepier than I was expecting, right? I came from, I know of Shaftworks through, well, for lots of things, but my favorite shaft work is Madoka Magica, right? And of course that one is also famous for using its very eerie sort of cutscenes and whatnot. Actually, should I call it cutscenes? Transition scenes, if you will, the very eerie transition scenes. But I feel like, just this episode alone kind of even upped the eeriness level by quite a margin, right? Especially when they even cut in some actual photographs of real people as well. Yeah, that part was really eerie. But it had a nice effect. Still don't, like, 2 episodes in, I still don't know what to feel of this series so far. If it's, what it's actually trying to do and so on and so forth. But, well, it's still very early in the series, right? So, I will see you guys in the next one. Let me know if I missed anything. And hopefully if there's any suggestions or any comments, do let me know in regards to format or whatnot, or if you still feel like these subs are not adequate enough, if you will. Yeah, just let me know. And if not, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.